everyone, it's Linda from Linda Z's in Arlington Heights, and Debbie, my camera person today.
Hello.
We are going to jump right into a video that is going to be phenomenal. You're going to love it. We're working today on the Bernina Q24, and you can see I have my own little Bernina, my 790 Plus, that is just a wonderful machine where I've been working on my mask. And we do have a couple of quick announcements that I want you to be aware of. I've had many emails asking me about how do I get information about the webinar that we did last week, which was on the Floriani, the R&K. Well, guess what? Kathi Quinn and Floriani have decided that they're going to do another one for you because we had such short notice. A lot of you jumped on it, but there were quite a few people that missed it. So it is this coming Wednesday on April 23rd, I believe that is, whatever Wednesday is. Everybody's losing track, I'm sure. And it's at 1:30. There will be an email tomorrow that you'll be able to go ahead, or it'll be on our website. So just watch for it. An email will come out and we'll have some information on our website where you can sign up. It's free and it is fabulous information. Because you love this so much, we've gone to some of our other vendors. We've asked OESD, we've asked Hope Yoder, and we're partnering with both of them, and we will have 2 other webinars coming up that we'll keep you posted on. So let's get
really
into...
exciting.
Yeah, it really is. I just want to get right in because Suellen and her granddaughter, which I just love that she's teaching her how to quilt, they are actually making a quilt on the Q24 Longarm. Now,
on the frame, yes.
On the frame, right. So this is a young gal, I believe.
It was her birthday actually in the video. So yeah, so
and
we'll
a teenager, I'm sure, and she's just starting, and it's really wonderful to see her doing the whole quilt. She pieced the quilt and then she's doing it on.
So they're going to use the QMatic also, and I so much wish I could have been there with them because I love that QMatic, and you're going to see how you set up a pantograph on the Longarm Q24. It's going to be really cool. So hang on, here they come.
Yeah. Hello from my little slice of heaven here in my home studio. This is Suellen. I'm really missing Debbie from Linda Z's because we usually do this together. But I want to wish my granddaughter Evelyn happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yay. And so Evelyn, for her birthday today, is going to be quilting her very first quilt. So you want to show the quilt that my grandson Gino is doing the filming right now. So that is her very first quilt, and she's going to be using the QMatic and doing a pantograph on the quilt. So let's show you how we get the setup to do a pantograph. Thanks. All right, Evelyn, when you're making a pantograph, the very first thing you're going to do is you want to choose a design. So on the screen, what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the second from the left top icon and touch it. The one with it from the left, there you go, with the plus sign on it. The left. There you go. And then you're going to clear it. You see how you're going to clear your clear all. Now you're wanting to do a pantograph, and so I want you to go and select the pantograph icon. And then, there you go. And now go through the choices that you have. You have lots of choices on here. And touch any that you like, that you think you might want to consider. So as you go by, why don't you touch about 2 or 3. There's one. And it goes over to the selection area. There's another one you might want to consider. Okay. Okay. And then you're going to close it. So you're going to close. And now you can audition any of those. Which one do you think you might want to try first?
The paisley.
Okay, so you're going to double click on the paisley, and it's going to come over. The first thing you're going to want to do is see, is this the size that you want on your quilt? So go up and to view, an actual size. And then move the bar so you can find it again. Is this the size that you want on your quilt, or do you want it smaller?
I'd like it a bit smaller.
Okay, that's easy. So you're going to go over to the bottom right, click there, and you'll get some handles. So you're going to have to move the here. So select it so it's red. Here, select it so it's red. Oops. Okay, you've touched this, so we're going to untouch that. Now you're going to select it, and let's untouch the hand. Now select it.
And just show, how do you zoom out again?
If you go over to the top right and do minus, now go to the arrow on the top right, or the top left, arrow on the top left. Now select it.
All right.
Okay, and now you're going to go to the size one. And you have handles to make it the size you want. Okay. And now you're going to want to duplicate. Oh, the next thing we need to do is measure your quilt. Do you remember how wide it is?
I think it was 57 inches.
Okay. So you see the icon up here that shows the arrows on each side right under the one that's highlighted? Okay, put in 57 across. And do you remember how high it is?
66.
Okay, put in 66. All right. Now the screen will show the size of your quilt on here. And you want to start, let's make this the grid smaller. So decrease the view, go up to the minus. Keep going until you see the whole thing. Okay, now you're going to replicate it. And so you see the button that has the 3 boxes in the plus side? You're going to go hit that until they go all the way across. And then you want to move it up just a little bit so that all of yours is covered. That's correct. Now, the next thing you want to do is have them go down the quilt. So the box that's right next to that shows that it has a black box in the middle and then 3 that are shaded behind it. Click that. And you're going to want to say how many rows you want. So let's do 1 and then get the spacing the way you want it. Is that how you want the spacing now? Looks good. Okay, then now you add rows until it covers your entire quilt. I would add another one just in case. There you go. Now, the next thing you want to do is highlight all of it. So touch the quilt. Oh, first say yes, and then touch the quilt. And now you're going to want to move it over, and so you have an equal amount extra on each side. So you use these buttons down here. And that shifts it over. Okay. So now you have your quilt. The next thing you're going to want to do is tell the computer where it is on the long arm. So you're going to do snap to point. Can you find the snap to point? It has a square with then a light box around it. It's in the second row and the third one. That's it. And you're going to do snap to point. To snap to point, now you're going to go up to the top over here. You're going to go up here and find you're going to want to say actual size on the size. So go to view, actual size, and you're going to go up to the top, over to the corner. And where do you want the corner to be? Okay, touch that. Now you're going to take the sew head and you're going to move the sew head to be in the exact same place. And you notice the handles that are on the Q24 right now are the handles I was using when I was doing some ruler work, because I wanted my hands flat out. I didn't want them to cramp around the round handles. And then I could have them down very close. So these are the handles that I use when I'm doing ruler work. All right, now you're going to go back over and say, yes, that's where the sew head is. So now the computer knows where the sew head is. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to ungroup your design. So let's minus the design. Let's get it back so you can see the whole thing. And make it a little bit bigger. There you go. Now if you move that to the middle there, then it'll stay that way. There you go. Now you're going to want to ungroup. So look over here, you see the one in the middle on the bottom that has the group and ungroup sign. You're going to ungroup it. And now you can work with each individual row. The top row looks like it's sticking out. You're going to want to trim that and so it fits exactly on your quilt. You know where the corner of the quilt is on the top left. So why don't you touch the top row and go over to the scissors. And now you're going to have the view be actual size. And you're going to be doing horizontal. And so it says horizontal. So now touch where you want it to cut. Great. And hit yes. And now you're going to do the vertical. So touch the same one again and the scissors. Vertical this time. Good. And you'll also want to trim the second row. Okay, there you go. Now you're not going to trim the rest of the quilt because sometimes quilts are a little bit different in width. And so we'll trim it each time we advance the quilt. But you still need to go and trim the other side. So let's move the sew head over so the sew head can match where it is. You only want to move the sew head one direction at a time. You're not going to move it at angles. So I'm glad you're going straight across. Go right to the very edge of the quilt. And let's put the laser light on. The top button that has the little wand on it. There you go. Now the laser light will show you exactly where the corner is. Okay. Now let's go up here. You're going to need to, bless you, need to go up so you can see the top of the quilt. And you see the X there that shows where the needle is, the sew head is. You're going to hit the you're going to touch the top row so it turns red. And now you're going to do the scissors and vertical. And this time you're going to invert it. Don't invert it to start with. Let's look and see what happens if you don't press invert. See, it would cut everything to the left. We don't want it to cut everything to the left, so why don't you hit invert? And now it's going to cut what part you want. Okay, so yes. And now let's do the second row. So there you go, touch the second row. You're going to need to go up where you can see where to cut. There you go. Vertical, invert. Okay. I think you're ready to start sewing. So let's decrease the size. Move it over so the bar in the middle. There you go. And let's touch the top row and then touch the go button. That's the arrow right under your quilt by your hand. That's it. And it's going to say there are cued designs outside the safe area. Do you want to proceed? Okay. And then it's going to say, where do you want to start? Do you want to start at wait, it'll come up. Do you want to start at the stop point, or do you want to start at the closest point to where the needle is?
The start point.
Okay. And so now you're going to go over to the sew head. It's going to move on its own. It'll move on its own over to the start point. Sometimes it takes a little while to cycle. While we wait for it to cycle, can you tell me why it is that you chose the paisley print? The paisley quilting design.
I have quite a bit of paisley in my thing, and the mink fabric on the back is also paisley imprinted.
Okay.
So I thought it'd match.
So you have minky on the back. You had to be very careful when you were setting up the minky, didn't you? Because we don't want to stretch, because if you stretch minky, then when you take it off the frame, it sucks right back in. Okay, it's moving over to where you go. Let's walk over to the sew head. Okay, we're back again. We had to discuss what color threads to quilt it in, but what did you decide, Evelyn?
To do silver,
And why did you do silver?
so it can show.
So if you use black on the back with the black minky, it wouldn't show at all, would it? Okay, so now I want you to look at the sew head. The sew head will tell you what to do. You're going to take hold of the thread that's from the needle, and you see the picture with, you're going to hold on to that, and you see this picture right here with the bobbin. You're going to press it, and it'll bring the bobbin thread up. Okay, now you're going to pull it, and so that you're going to pull the bobbin thread out. That'll keep you from having any thread nests underneath your quilt. Then I want you to hold on to both threads and you're going to press the green go button. And first it does some securing stitches right at the beginning, and then it's going to start doing your design. Okay. And I want you to look over here on the computer monitor, because if you see the X that's moving there, it's going to show you exactly where the needle is and where it's going to go on the design. There you go. And if you want to slow it down or speed it up, you can move this slide bar that's under the picture. Okay, so we're going to take a break now, probably go work on baking a birthday cake. I'll do that with Gino, your brother, and then we'll be back when it's time to have the machine go back the other way. Okay? Okay, we're back. And the computer the QMatic has sewn to the end of its first row. Evelyn, where is it? Did it come right exactly to the edge?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And look at the quilting. It went right exactly to the edge. You did a very nice job in telling the computer where to quilt. Then now you need to tell it what to do on the next row. So the first thing you want to do is be able to release the thread and have it tied off on this end. So can you push the picture of the bobbin? Okay, I'd push it one more time. Now push the green arrow and it'll move to the next row. And we forgot to program it to change ends on where it started, didn't we? So we can do that on the rest of the quilt. But it's gone back to the same end where it started. Can you this time do it all on your own to get it going?
Yeah.
So what do you do first? Yep, you hold the thread. And bring up the bottom thread so you don't have a thread nest on the bottom. That's fine. And it's starting again right on the edge of the quilt. And the laser light there really helps show where it should go. So we stay stitched down the edges of the quilt. to keep it in place because we needed to have it loose enough with the minky on the back, but we didn't want to put pressure pulling it side to side because that's the way the minky could stretch. But there it goes, and so we're off on doing row 2. Then after we finish row 2, we will advance the quilt and reset and tell the computer, the QMatic, where the sides of the quilt are again.
Yeah.
So as we advance the quilt, we have to be very careful. This is a minky quilt, so we unclipped and we're moving forward. And I want to leave enough space here for the machine still to go back there to quilt. And I want to make sure that I can still grab my finger up to the first knuckle so that it's not too tight. That lets me know that it's not too tight. So then I'm going to set this. I'm going to make sure that it's all nice and flat and that the batting is all nice and flat and that the seams are all going the correct way. And we'll check. Okay, that's still all going nice and straight, so I'm going to do a basting down the side. Over the other side and baste the other side in place. And we want to make sure this is all nice and straight. See, I have the laser light that's right on the edge, and so I'm making sure that the quilt is still going straight down, and it is. So now the quilt is all nice and straight, and I can still grab my finger. I'm going to loosen it up just one notch. Oops, that's too much. There, I can grab my finger. So now I'm going to set the quilt top bar, and I'm going to put the clamps on the sides, not to pull it tight, to keep it from shrinking in. So I know that it can't pull the minky any tighter because I've secured the top to it already. It's basted. But I don't want to pull it tighter. I just want to keep it from shrinking into the middle. Now, because we didn't seam this, there isn't a full 4 inches on the side, and so we'll have to be kind of careful when we start and stop at the ends because we don't have the full 4 inches at the sides that you really need. But because this was the perfect size for you to do this, it just seemed right to do this without a seam. Now we could attach little tabs at the side and work it that way too, but this will be fine. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this aligned. So I want you to see here, we're putting the laser point right on the tip. I can find that really, really easily. Let me get this up out of the way. Where the laser point is right on the tip of that paisley point. And now we're going to come over to the machine, to the QMatic, and I want to snap to point. And so that's about where it is. So then I'll go to view actual size. And there, now the machine is at that same point, so now I'm saying, yep, the machine is where it should be. Okay. Would you like to now take over and do the next part where you trim the edges of the okay. So Evelyn is going to now take over, and she's going to highlight, trim. The QMatic is awesome. It's very intuitive. Now let's move the machine head over to the side physically, and so you can tell the computer, the QMatic, where it is. Just move it over to the side of the fabric, to the side of the quilt. And now you know exactly where to trim it on here. Okay, and then yes. And now you're going to do the next row.
What
To
about
the left. You need to do the next row down first, and then you'll move the sew head.
Where's the sew
So you can see right here where it is. No, see right there, the blue. There you go. That's it. Okay. Now you're going to go over to the other side. And you need to move the sew head. You do get a little bit of exercise with the QMatic. That's a good thing. I like doing the stand-up work, but that's just me. Okay, and so then the laser light shows where. See, and that's the problem we run into with the clamps. There you go. Okay. Okay. And then do the next row. And do you remember what we forgot to do last time?
Yeah.
So here, make it smaller so you can see. Okay, so which one do you want to, you're going to make them go every other one, go back the other way, right?
That green thing. How do you do that?
You see the,
Oh.
there you go. Do you want to do this one up here? Yep. So you go this way, and now you go this way. This way, and now you go this way. Do you want to go down and do the rest of the quilt too?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. All right, so now you're ready to press go again. And so that's what you're going to do for the rest of the quilt. Each 2 rows, then you'll come back here and you will advance the quilt. That's all there is to doing a QMatic. So thank you to Debbie at Linda Z's and to Linda at Linda Z's for providing all of these kinds of materials. I absolutely love my QMatic. And Evelyn, what do you think of using the QMatic?
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So thank you very much and happy birthday.
So this is my completed quilt, and all I have left to do is the binding, which I plan to make just plain black fabric.
Okay. You want to show the back?
Yeah.
You also need to make a quilt label, so we'll use the embroidery machine to do that. So very soft minky. Thank you, and happy birthday again. We are feeling so blessed to have our grandkids here during this staycation, since their parents have to work. Mom's a nurse and Dad's a chemical engineer, and so they both have to, he works at Eli Lilly making medications, so they're both working, and so we get to have the kids here with us for a few weeks. So happy birthday again. Love you very much, and hope all of you at home are staying safe and using up your stash.